maybe caught me with a couple of punches in the first round. He caught me with, I think he hit me with 3 straight right hands. I think he caught me on the nose, so it was like every time I sucked because I remember like Stitch coming after the first round, coming between the rounds and trying to like clean my nose up, and I was like, get the fuck away from me, you know. But no, I kept sucking it back up, and it was coming down through my throat, so I just spat it out into the ring. But it was fine. It was nothing really to worry about. It was just a little bit annoying at times, but other than that, it was nothing I've never felt before. I strapped the knee up basically because when I arrived in San Diego to finish off, like, I was kind of did a few weeks to start my camp back home. Went to San Diego for 6 weeks training. First week I got there, we were doing some sparring. Went for a takedown against one of the guys and partially tore. I actually tore my LCL. You know, so I had to get a whole pile of clearance from the UFC. Had to get an MRI, go and see a knee specialist. You know, I was really close to being pulled out from the fight, and this was like 5-6 weeks from the fight, 5 weeks I think it was, and already heard it, like Paul Taylor had pulled out, and then after that, Bisbing had pulled out. There'd been a lot of people had pulled out from the Manchester card, and I thought, I can't do this. I came the whole way out here there's no chance. I felt like it was going to be the fight that never ever happened, because remember the first time John Tuck got injured, then it was possibly going to be me. So I thought, no, there's no chance. I'm going to tape that bad boy up and just keep training. So for my whole fight camp, I never grappled one time. Not for 5, 10, 15 minutes did I grapple on the floor. It was just taping it up, sparring, just cage drilling against the cage, and doing conditioning. That's all I did for the whole 6 weeks I was there in America, and that was it. Apart from whenever I got home, I got a bit of movement about it, and as you saw with my coach back home, Rodney, and that was it. Other than that, it was just sprawl and brawl. Yeah, I was really surprised with that there. I was surprised that I knew in the third round that he was losing the fight. It was kind of close up until that, but he was losing. I thought he was going to like come crazy at me and try and go for the takedown, but not once did he try. I think he tried maybe like an outside sweep with the foot, and I just pushed him away. And I was real surprised, you know, him coming from a great high-level grappling background, and the first round was pretty close, you know. I was kind of tentative. He threw a couple of big shots, hit me with 4 straight rights. I was just trying to get my range and try to feel it out, get into my groove, and then in the second round, I knew I had him after that. I was slipping and countering every time. I knew that's the way I could beat him, pressure him, and just slip his punches and counter. And in the third round, I thought he was going to come out, but he never did. He never tried to take us down then. That never really crossed my mind, being worried about the decision. I knew I did enough in the first. I knew the first round was pretty close, but I thought maybe my takedown at the end maybe just made it even, or if not, just nicked it. But I knew the second round I won, and I won the third round clear as well. So I knew, in my head, I knew, compared to my last fight when I fought Tokidomi, I kind of went back to my corner after the third round. I was thinking, did I win that fight, you know? But this fight here, I felt like, you know, yeah, I did enough. And even when I went back to my corner, I was like, yeah, you did enough. It was a great fight, man. You just pushed the pressure and made him react to everything I did. He kept him on the back foot. Every time I kept him on the back foot, he kind of got a little bit flustered and didn't know what to do. And I just kept slipping that right hand and countering over the top, and it was coming in nicely. I did want to get the finish, you know. I hyped this fight up like there was no tomorrow, and I was like, I'm going to finish this fucking motherfucker and all this here, but I never did, you know. You can never please everybody. I did what I did, you know. I got the win, you know. I moved to like 9-0 in my last few fights, so I'm happy enough to get the win. Yeah, it was a bit tense at the weigh-ins. I don't know, it was really tense. Like I think it was, he must have been reading all my tweets or something like that, because there was a whole, the fight was really hyped up a good bit, you know. And as I got there, I thought, you know, I'd been shaking hands and all this here, you know. I'm not really one for like crazy stare downs or trying to push my opponent or anything like that, but it was just like, you know, one of them crazy stares. It was like, we're ready for war tomorrow night. And yeah, during the fight, I kind of like laughed at him a couple of times. I didn't laugh at him, you know, I smiled at him. He threw a couple of crazy shots that we do back home when we're training, like you throw a jab and then jab to the lead leg, right? You're like punching the leg. You know, it's like a crazy one, but we do that back home. Me and my coach Rodney, he did it to me, and I kind of like laughed to myself, just thinking that I was thinking of Rodney, you know. And I was like, you know, I laughed at him, so I jabbed and then jabbed him to the leg, and he smiled back. And then we got to the third round, and And I was like, yeah, so you want to win this fight? I said to him, it was about the last 30 seconds. I said, come on, hit me. You want to win this fight? Hit me, come on. Let me see if you want to win this fight. And he was like, let's go, you know. So I used that to try and get me through crazy punches so I could counter him again. And I did counter him a few times, but I knew I did enough to win. So I'm happy that I got the result, the win, but I still wanted to get the finish, you know. I mean, you're in the UFC, what does everybody want to see? They want to see a finish, but I feel like I did enough that the people were excited enough with the fight that I showed tonight. Well, whenever I was in the Ultimate Fighter, like after the Ultimate Fighter, when I won my fight against Colin Fraser, I said I would love to fight George Sarap. Well, I don't know how to pronounce his second name, but George anyway, you know, George from the Smashes, Soteropoulos. But he's been on a losing streak right now, so I don't know if he's going to be fighting the UFC again, and I don't know what the UFC are planning for me, but realistically, if you think about it, I don't think it's a great matchup, you know. He's coming off 4 losses, I won my last 3 in the UFC, so I'll probably be fighting someone that's on a winning streak right now, so to be honest, I don't care who the UFC give me, they can give me anyone. You know, I ain't going to turn down no fight from anyone. I tell you what, I said before, I'm tough, I'm resilient, I'm consistent. Right now I'm consistent, you know, and I'm on a good roll right now, and I've got to keep that momentum going, and I'm trouble for anyone, you know. I ain't no easy fighter for anyone. It's going to take a lot for any of these lightweights to put me away. They've got to seriously hurt me to put me away, and that's true. I would love to fight again. This knee, I'm probably going to rest this knee for about a month, you know, and maybe do some strength conditioning and stuff like that, you know, but really rest my knee for a wee while. I hear they're coming back to London in March time, so I think that would be perfect time. And then I heard that Ross is going to be fighting Gallard, you know, that match is going to happen again in London, so it'd be great to maybe head back out to Alliance just after Christmas time and get a good training camp in there and come back and fight in London. That'd be awesome to fight close to home again, get all my friends and family across and make it 4-0 then. If the UFC plan to come to Dublin that little bit earlier, I would definitely love to get on to the Dublin card before the London card. But I thought that the UFC was coming to Dublin at the third quarter, like maybe at the end of 2014. But if they're going to come that little bit earlier, yeah, I'd save myself, you know, and just spend a little bit more time at Alliance in San Diego in preparation and stay and fight for the one in London or Dublin. That'd be awesome, man. That card would just be great for the whole country as one, to get everybody together. And I mean, they were there in 2009. There was hardly any people from the country fighting UFC. Tom Egan, you know, he was only basically just started off MMA, so it'd be great to see that we've got a few people right now, and it's crazy how much it's expanded over the last year. It's just went crazy, you know. I thought, you know, because we did our finale, right? I won my finale. I went back home and I watched the other finale, and I've seen these guys getting presented with, you know, the guy Colton Smith getting presented with a set of keys. There you go, there's your brand new Harley Davidson. And not once did he even look at that guy to take them keys. He was too busy looking away this way, and Dana was like, hey man, get your keys, you know. He was no intention to get that Harley Davidson. It felt like, you know, he didn't even want it. And I thought, you know, if there was a set of fucking Harley keys coming to me, I would take them straight away, you know. I'd bring that thing back home to Bush Mills. But I thought that we should have had the opportunity as well, but we heard that the Harley Davidson never sponsored the Smashes show, but I still put my request in anyway, as Mo Boy says, you don't ask, you don't get, and that's it. So maybe I'll get one delivered. Won my fights, nil my fighter, I won my finale, won UFC 162 against Tokudomi, won my fight here tonight against Sean Tuck. I'm excited. I know there's more to come. I'm telling you, I'm just only getting into my groove. Like, as I said before, some guys come in and sprout into the UFC real quick and they can hit the mark straight away, but I feel like I'm just taking my time, and it's just meant to be. It's just all planned out. I'm just going with the flow, and I feel like there's more to offer, and there ain't no stop me anytime soon. As I said before, I'm a tough fight for anyone. You know, I ain't going to lie down. Don't let the pretty looks fool you, because I'm a beast in there, you know. Do you ever think I'd be UFC champion one day? Yeah, I believe I got the tools to beat anyone in this division. I mean, a lot of people just want to be in this here show just to be like, oh yeah, I want to be fighting UFC, I want to be this and that. I felt like, to be honest, before I got to UFC, I wanted to be like, oh yeah, I want to fight in UFC, but I never ever thought would I be a world champion. But now, since I've been to America and trained by like world champions, trained with Mike Chandler, Ross Pearson, just a ton of great guys out there. I kind of saw me where I was on my own level, and I know I'm right up there with everyone. So I now got that extra belief now, but I could be a world champion. I can be a world champion. I get the ability and the belief. And you see, if you just put them things together and believe, like, you can just be anything you want, really. So I'm just going to keep following it. It's in the back of my mind, but right now it's not my focus right now to be world champion right now. It's in the back of my mind, but I've got a few other things in mind right now. I want to be in that top 15 to top 20, top 10 to top 15 to top 20, because I know that lightweight division is stacked. There's tons of great fighters there. I respect every one of them, but I want the fights that's going to make me work. Fights where I need to have to grind to win. There's fights where I have to come back for defeat and can beat that opponent. That's the fights I want right there. I know my next fight I'm going to get that. I want that. I want someone that's going to push me to the edge where I have to really grind for that win. And but I know in the back of my mind, it's where I want to be is get that fucking gold around my waist. That'll be there one day. I give it a few more years, I give it a few more years.